We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the grace. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Hold on one second. Okay. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me and resting in the grace of God. I know that all is well. The joy of God is joy in me and resting in the joy of God. I know that all is well. The love of God is love in me and resting in the love of God. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is well.
Good evening, and Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year's Eve. I am Reverend Mark Anthony Lord, and I am the minister here at Unity Naples, and I welcome you tonight to our special ceremony. It's a burning bowl ceremony, as you know. If you're new here to Unity and you're here for this event, we especially welcome you to our home, and we thank you for being here as part of this ceremony. I have two wonderful people helping to officiate this ceremony this evening. We have Janine Hedberg, who is a licensed Unity teacher here, who gave a wonderful talk on Sunday. Thank her for that. And we have Reverend Eileen. They together are going to support you in this ritual, and we give great thanks to Suzanne and our music team tonight. Very, very grateful. So I'd like to invite up Janine.
Well, welcome. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's almost. It is such a joy to be able to be here with you and share this ending of this decade, this ending of these 20 years in this century and going into the 20s. I kind of feel like I'm 20 years old again. That's really cool. Yes, absolutely. And this service is about two really great concepts. One is release, which is what I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to set our affirmations, not affirmations necessarily, our intentions for the new year. And so kind of what I want to talk about is that it sounds really easy. I know it sounds really easy. Just let it go. Just let it go. But things that no longer serve us really come in a ton of forms. Friends, jobs, health, sadness, happiness, lack, anger, all things out there, right? Everything that's really our challenge, why our lives aren't working is all out there, right? Not right. Not right. If any of you were here on Sunday, we talked about, and Reverend Marcus talked about how the world that I see is the world that's inside of me. So there's another wonderful, wonderful person that I've gotten to study with at Unity Village. His name is Reverend Simons, and he wrote a wonderful book called The Eye of the Storm. And we've studied it here, and it's really a conflict resolution book. But the conflict I want to talk about tonight is the conflict that's within us, because it really all comes down to what's inside of us that's no longer serving us. So tonight is a time when we're going to write those things down. Has everybody got a blue form? We're going to write them down on here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But, if you think of something while I'm talking, please go ahead and jot it down. Now, tonight's also the time that we're going to really awaken to a new purpose and a new direction in any part of our life that we want, whether it's health or finances or love or purpose. And I want you to think about the story. I wore this pin. It's one of my favorite pins, this pin. But think about the story of the poor caterpillar. I mean, he's out there eating leaves and getting fat and running around and just happy as a clam. And all of a sudden, one day, he decides that he's going to make a cocoon and he's going to go to sleep. And honestly, I'm sure that he believes that he's going to die. And if you look at what scientists see goes on inside that cocoon, the entire body of the caterpillar disappears. It becomes like a liquid goo. And from that goo, a new life is born, the life of the butterfly. And so it's kind of like that for us, I believe, or at least for me. Tonight is a night of, I don't know what's going to happen next. I know it's going to be marvelous, because I'm going to let go of anything that's just too small for me, that holds me back too much. And that's mainly my thoughts and the things that I believed about myself for all of my X amount of years. Now, Dr. Simons goes on to say that it's really our past experiences. If we don't let go of those past experiences, whether it's through forgiveness, whether it's through a release, whether it's through our burning bowl that we're going to do tonight, if we don't let those things go, have you ever noticed how they kind of come back in a new form? That guy that you broke up with 2 years ago, well, I just met him again, and and he's got a different name, and he looks a little different, but gosh, he's got the same challenges, it can't be me. Those 20 pounds that I let go of 2 years ago, well, it's not my fault, they're back. So those same kinds of things keep coming back to us unless we're wise enough to let them go, to forgive ourselves, to replace those thoughts with new and wonderful thoughts about the truth of who we are. Now, Dr. Simon uses a great metaphor that we can all recognize here in Florida, and he talks about the eye of the storm, what goes on in the eye of a hurricane. And we all know that the eye of a hurricane is calm. If any of you were here for Irma, you know that as the hurricane went through, it was really terrible, and then all of a sudden there was between 20 minutes and 40 minutes, depending where you were, of pure calmness, and the sun came out, and the winds died down, and everybody went outside and took pictures. But then the other side of the hurricane came back. And so Dr. Simons really challenges me, and he's become really one of my heroes, to talk about how do you stay in the center of that hurricane? How do you stay in the calmness? And we've had wonderful techniques that we got through Advent from Reverend Mark, and meditation, prayer, sitting in the silence, all techniques that can help us stay centered, because it's in that place of calmness, in that place of quiet, that we can hear God's voice. We say that every Sunday, but that's the only place that we can hear God's voice. Now, we can look to something outside of ourselves. And it's a little bit of a joke. I can look to that guy, or I can look to that situation, or I can look to that boss, or I can look to that whatever, and say that problem is out there. But as I've committed to knowing that all of those things that I see are really inside of me, then I know that I can change. I know that I can grow. And so tonight is a chance for us to ask ourselves some questions. And I've got a few from Dr. Simons here. Just think about it as we go into this release. Can you see how everything that is for or against you has roots inside of you? Can you see that? That it's not just something happening out there. The roots are inside of us. You know, are you willing to see that lack or abundance are not outside of you either? Lack and abundance starts within us. This is one of my favorites. Can you see that your struggle for wholeness and worth have been predicated on the belief that there are opposing forces at work within your life? There is nothing that is opposing you. Everything in the universe is for us. And when we can grasp that, we can let go of these things that are causing dissension within ourselves. And this is one of my favorites because I unfortunately do this still. Are there people in your lives, whether it's a husband, a wife, a child, a boss, a neighbor, a friend, a politician, that holds a measure of your happiness hostage? Do we let our happiness be held hostage by forces outside of ourselves? And I'm not saying that there aren't things that happen, but our joy, our happiness, our peace, our wholeness is ours and ours alone. So letting something outside of ourselves hold that is totally inappropriate. And the last one is, in your attempts to find yourself, to get what you need, to feel safe, to feel wanted, to feel loved, do you first have to gain the cooperation of somebody else? Because again, that's a fallacy also. There's no one outside of ourselves that gives us that. Joy is a choice we make. Wholeness is a choice we recognize. Passion and peace are choices within ourselves that are ours and ours alone. So as we go into this release, I want you to just remember that there is nothing against you. The universe is only for you. And so any of these things that are holding you in, strapping you in, making you feel smaller than you are what we want to write down tonight and then fold up or wad up, whatever you want to do. And then after the service, we're all going to go out to the burning bowl. We have 2 fire marshals out there. We've got Gary and John Ward are going to be out there. They're going to be keeping us all safe. But we want to go out and do a burning ceremony. And we really want to take these and put our intention into them, to throw them away, to let them go, to watch them burn in a sacred way, because then they're gone. So that's kind of what we're aiming at tonight. I'm going to do a meditation in a little bit, but I know Suzanne's got a gorgeous song right now for you. Why, thank you.
Knelt down to pray, praying, help me please. Then he said, you don't have to cry, 'cause I'll supply all your needs.
As soon as I stopped worrying how the story ends, I let go and I let God have his way. That's when things start happening. I'll stop looking at back then. I let go and I let God have his way. There was so much going on. Sometimes I can't find my way, and oftentimes I struggle from day to day.
I have to realize my battle. It's not my battle to fight. I have to know when I put it in his hands that everything will be alright.
I stop worrying how the story ends. I let go and I let God have his way. That's when things start happening. I'll stop looking at back then. I let go and I let God have his way. Let go,
let God,
let God,
let go,
let
yeah,
go,
let God,
let God,
let go,
let go,
let God,
let God,
let go,
let
let God, let go,
let God,
let go, and
let God, let go, let God, let go, let God. As soon as I stop worrying how the story ends, I let go and I let God have his way. That's when things start happening. I stop looking at back then. I let go and I let God have his way.
Oh, Suzanne, Jesse, John, that was just gorgeous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. For those of you who know me, you know that I always think that it's the poets that say things better than anybody. And I'd like to start our meditation with one of my favorite poets tonight. Does anyone know David Whyte's work? It's a beautiful poem. And then we'll go into meditation. It's called Sweet Darkness. When your eyes are tired, the world is tired also. When your vision is gone, no part of the world can find you. It's time to go into the dark where the night has eyes to recognize its own. There, you can be sure you're not beyond love. The dark will be your womb tonight. The night will give you a horizon further than you can see. You must learn one thing. The world was made to be free in. Give up all the other worlds, except that one to which you belong. Sometimes it takes darkness and the sweet confinement of your aloneness to learn that anyone or anything that does not bring you alive is too small for you. Let's all just close our eyes and take a deep breath together. Let's just be still for a moment. Take another deep breath and let your heart open. Your beautiful heart, your spiritual heart that sits in back of your physical heart. Let it just open like a flower. Everything we've talked about so far is just preparatory for what we're to do tonight. We've empowered all of these words to lead us to a place of release, of letting go that which is too small for us, that which confines us, that which puts fences around us, that which holds us within small, dark little rooms. We're just going to let that go tonight. Anything that does not bring you alive is too small for you. Let it all go now and let the creative process come into a living experience for you. Let your mind become creative. Let go of what doesn't work. Let go of what confines. And let your creativity lead you into your new 2020 life. A life of wholeness, completeness, passion, and purpose. Because at the foundation of your life and your experience is the wholeness of a universal process of love and peace. And that will bring forward our new intentions for this year. You are a point of light. And as we open and let that point of light grow, we know that we are each whole, each complete, each lacking in nothing, and each sitting at the center of all the God there is. And we know that we are the eachness within the allness. We are perfection, we are peace, and we are purpose here in this place at this time. You are an expression of love in the limitless love of the infinite. You are an experience of wholeness and health and activity of the allness of the healing life. And you are the flow of substance through you and as you, and it feels great. Don't let yourself wonder how this happens. Just know that it is the truth, and that know that there is nothing that is not yours. Let go of all your human thoughts and focus on the truth of what you are and who you are. And let's just sit for a moment with that. And when you're ready, open your eyes, and we'll take a few minutes and let's just write down whatever it is that's too small for you in your life, anything you want to release. And we're going to have fun with the burning bowl in a few minutes. Does anyone need a few more minutes? More to write? You can use the back side. Are we okay with that? Are we complete with that? You can, if you think of something else as the evening goes on, you can definitely add it. Okay. Jesse, thank you so much. That was beautiful. David White has another beautiful poem that I want to, before we go into prayer, just share with you. It's called The Journey. Above the mountains, the geese turn into the light again, painting their black silhouettes on an open sky. Sometimes, everything has to be inscribed across the heavens so you can find the one line already written inside of you. Sometimes it takes a great sky to find that first bright and indescribable wedge of freedom in your own heart. Sometimes with the bones of the black sticks left when the fire has gone out. Someone has written something new in the ashes of your life. You're not leaving. You are arriving. Let's pray. I know God as the allness. I know God as love and peace and purpose. And I know that I, as an eachness within that allness, am that. I am all of that. And I know for everyone assembled here, everyone who hears this message, everyone whom we speak to tonight, everyone whom we touch in this new year, is also that. Everyone is peace, everyone is whole, everyone is complete, and everyone is living their perfect purpose. And I know this is the truth. And I know that as we release and as we burn these small things in our lives, we move farther along the path of the Christ light. And I am so grateful for everyone here tonight. And I am so grateful for this prayer. And I release it into the action of the law that always and only says, yes, my beloveds, this is the truth. And so it is. Amen.
I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. So now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Sing with us. 1, 2. I release. And I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm for God. I release, clap with me. I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am in the Spirit, yes, I'm only here for God.
All right. Janine, you set me up great. So Janine said, let's let go. Let's let God. Let go of everything that didn't serve you in 2019. But hang on to that paper for now, right? So you can burn it later. So as we begin 2020 with a fresh new awakening to our good, the abundant life, the gifts await us. So I'm not going to talk about New Year's resolutions, okay? They don't work for me. And I'm going to tell you why. 2 weeks into it, I've had one hot fudge sundae. I'm thinking about where I'm going to get my next one. And actually, my mouth is watering right now. So I can tell you, they don't work for me. What happens is I immediately go into shame. Shame on you, Eileen. I go into blame, because, again, I'm blaming myself. And I spend a lot of time doing a whole big story in here about why I didn't think it through and why it happened the way it did for me. Have any of you ever experienced that? Yeah, so you know what's interesting? I heard an interview with Deepak Chopra last week, and they were interviewed, and they said, oh, you must have a New Year's resolution. Here's what he simply said: I don't make them. That was it. That was the end of the interview, too. Really. So, you know, we have to let our Christ light shine brightly. And as we take a deeper dive into allowing ourselves to go within and create what we would like to be. Am I not on here? Oh, I didn't want to have to stand here. Okay. What we have to be in this new decade. Let's focus tonight on enhancing what we already have within us. It was a little bit about what Janine was talking about, what we already have within us. Are you willing to take a deep dive with me tonight? Yes. Okay, now I'm a little hard of hearing, but not that bad. Okay. All right, so let me just say this for you. If you're willing to do this, then I'm sorry to say, or happy to say, the New Year's Eve party has started. Okay? So we're starting our party now. And if I could sing, I would sing, let's get this party started, but okay. Let me tell you something that I find so interesting. The most magnetic and magical statement in the entire Bible is about us. It is, God created man in his image. Male and female, he created them. That's 1 Genesis 27. We believe in unity, that we are created in the image and the likeness of God. The image is us as God sees us. And Janine kind of talked about that. The isness and the allness, is that right, Janine? Do I have that down right? Yeah. Okay. So the image is us as God sees us. And the likeness is ours to do. That is what we have to work out, becoming that likeness, that image. And that's precisely what Jesus did. He demonstrated the image of God by being its likeness. That's why Unity calls him the way shower. He gave us the syllabus. Maybe you never thought about it that way. But he gave us the syllabus so that we can hit the ground running. So for me, the question in this new decade is, if I'm already made in the image of God, I have it all within, all the gifts. What I need to hit the ground running is to set an intention from my very being. Not my doing, my being. So that I can bring out God's image. To make it a spiritual practice. That's really the destiny of all of us. To bring into manifestation the image that God has of us already. Pretty cool. So what are those God qualities that we have within us? There are many. But tonight, we're going to talk about these just a little bit. Faith, love, joy, prosperity, vitality, wholeness, and peace. Will you bring that image, that divine light within, to manifestation this year? Will you realize that you are the likeness? You bring about God. Something to set a big intention on. Maybe you want to intentionally allow God qualities of love to enhance your relationships. getting in touch with that love within you and allowing that to flow through you to others. Seeing that God, that love in others, even when it's hard. Maybe it's about being in love with yourself. Yeah. Being in love with yourself instead of beating yourself up. That's so tiring, isn't it? Oh, let's just get rid of it. It's just way too tiring to beat yourself up. Maybe in 2020, you will increase your God quality of faith by being in non-resistance and letting things flow. Just let it flow and believing that all is in divine order. You know, Jesus helped us remember that. He talked about the depth potential of strength that is within us, and especially when we're feeling our weaknesses, to have that faith. He says, knock and it shall be open to you. Come on, guys. I'm here for you 24/7. Lean into me. How about the gift of being in self-forgiveness? Believe me, it is true peace and joy when you're able to forgive yourself. Because when you don't, just think about how miserable you feel. And when you're able to release that and let it go, the peace and the joy is wonderful. Maybe, just maybe, you're holding on to some unforgiveness toward another that has been persistently nagging at you, keeping you from that God quality of peace and joy. Because when we don't forgive ourselves and we don't forgive others, we don't feel that peace and joy. That God quality of peace and joy is how God sees you. And it doesn't serve your image to keep it. So remember, God's image is you. Maybe it's a creative venture that you wanted to pursue, but you were just afraid to do that, afraid to take those steps. Not being in touch with your God image of prosperity holds you back. You know how stingy you can be, right? Yeah, don't be stingy anymore. Let that go. Understand that prosperity is yours. What does prosperity look like for you as an intention this year? What would that look like? What are you looking for that will deepen that image of God as God sees you? That which allows the gifts that you have to really blossom forth. So let's focus. This last evening of 2019, can you believe it? Whew. And bring into likeness our being. Bring that into likeness. We have the gift of vitality. Vitality to me means being strong and active and having the energy to get things done. So how this year will you set intentions to get things done, to be in that vitality? If you can't think of an intention, think of the intention of vitality, to get things done. And yes, wholeness. Let's not forget that God quality of wholeness, our oneness with all that is. You can never, ever, ever, ever separate yourself from God. Never. Even when you try. Never. Because God sees you as itself. You can't do it. You can just be that expression of God by being in the likeness. So all you need to do is be ready. Be ready to let God have God's way with you. What would you like to manifest for yourself this year? What intention do you have within that will bring you closer to knowing that you are truly the image of God. You know what's going to happen? You're going to be challenged. You might say, here's what I want to do. And then all the old beliefs will be challenged. And we'll say, I don't know. Just hold that intention that you make this evening front and center. Stay focused on what it is that you want for yourself this year. Your intention is meant to increase your God qualities. How will you put that intention into action? I want to share with you how I put my intention last year into action and kept it front and center. I took the prayer class that we had last year that Reverend Mark offered. Of course I did. I'm the pastoral minister, so of course I took that class, right? You're saying, oh, no. I took that class because it was so much more than I could have ever thought it would be. I've taken prayer classes for a very long time and many different ones. It was a beautiful, perfect way for me to hold my intention for the year front and center. It worked. You know, the prayer class had over 80 participants, and from that, 22 people decided to dedicate their life to being prayer chaplains for us. Our lives were changed. There was experience after experience that happened. Miraculous things happened. The sharing that we did with each other, the praying that we did with each other, the format for prayer that gave us something that we could share with ourselves personally and with others. It was a beautiful learning experience for me. Talk about touching God qualities. Oh yeah. It still happens all the time. If I had time, I would tell you things that have happened to me as recently as a couple of weeks ago when somebody asked me for prayer. They were on their deathbed and hadn't been in church or prayed for years and called me on the phone. And they're in New Jersey. I'm here. They held the phone for this woman. These are the things that happen when we allow ourselves to let those God qualities come through. So if you can't think of any other intention, here's a good one. Take the prayer class. Okay. You will be giving yourself a gift. Believe me, you will. Tonight is the night to get rid of what did not support you and to create and manifest your being in 2020. Are you with me? Yes. Okay, great. I'm going to ask you, you've been sitting for a little while, right? Just stretch a little bit. I just want you to move around in your seat for just a second or two. I didn't say stand. Wait a minute. I don't know how I'm going to get you back in control. All right. I keep wanting to walk away from this. Okay, great. Some of you are great stretchers. Okay, all right. I'm going to ask you now to take a nice deep breath. Just take a nice deep breath. I have to tell you this. I went for my yearly checkup today, and the doctor told me to take a deep breath and then take another one and take another one. And she said, "You are such a deep breather." And I said, "I do it a lot." Just to relax your shoulders now. Just relax your shoulders. Let the chair hold you. Don't even think about it. Just relax totally. Relax into your good, into abundance, all the gifts that you have. Health, love, joy, faith, wholeness, laughter, freedom, peace, forgiveness, vitality, prosperity. Just let all of that flow through your consciousness. These are all your God qualities. I want you to take another nice deep breath and just close your eyes. want you to picture yourself right now sitting among a circle of friends and family, all celebrating you and the qualities of God that you have. Everyone is having so much fun naming all of your wonderful qualities because, of course, they see them in themselves. Suddenly, there is silence, and everyone at once sees a luminous figure in a shimmering lavender floor-length cloak. The light from its face and hands are dazzling, and you cannot tell if it's male or female, human or divine. Before you decide, this being puts a gift in front of you, wrapped in the most beautiful paper, dazzling with ribbons and sparkles. Then this mysterious being miraculously conveys to you this message. This is your gift-wrapped intention for 2020. This is what will increase your spiritual awareness. This is your spiritual practice. Please unwrap it. This is divinely given to you. Then, that quickly, the divine being leaves, and you have your intention to unwrap right in front of you. As you unwrap that intention, you smile, knowing that this is just what you need, and you know that the practice of this intention will change your life. You know that you must write this down. You don't want to forget it for even a second. So slowly, very slowly, you come back into this room and you take out your yellow sheet of paper and write down what was your gift. What was the gift that that being had for you this year, so that you could even more understand your divinity, so that you could be the likeness. That paper reads, I, and you put your name in it, am made in the image and likeness of God. And my intention for 2020 is to focus on being, whatever that is for you. I will do this in my prayers, my meditations, and in all my interactions to the best of my ability, always leaning into the Holy Spirit for support. Please write down your intention. I'm going to ask you now to just talk to the person next to you and share what came to you, what your intention is for this year, just for a few moments. Okay. Wow, you're really, you're really speaking your intentions. This is great. This is great. All right. I'm going to ask you to just bring that sentence to a close. Bring that sentence to a close now. And I'd like you to hold that intention in your hand right now. Just take it and hold it in your hand. And any prayer chaplains that are here, and I know there are some of you here, I would like you to stand. I'd like you to stand and hold that in your hand and speak this prayer with me. I speak this prayer right now, this prayer of intention, knowing that God is love and peace and joy and prosperity. And just as God is, we are, all of us, we are that image, that likeness. We take these intentions and we hold them close to our hearts, knowing that they will change our lives in a most beautiful, wonderful way. We keep these intentions close so that we don't forget that we are the image and likeness of God. We are one with all that there is. We hold these intentions as sacred parts of us that will increase the love for ourselves and the love for others. I am so grateful for this prayer, so grateful for this sharing, for this intention work that we did tonight, for this releasing work that we did tonight. And I send that out into the action of the law right now that always says yes, and so it is. Amen. I would just like to do one last thing. I have a favorite little Buddhist prayer that I would like to share with you. So I'm going to hold my hands out and bless you. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. Happy New Year.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Eileen and Janine, and thank you, everyone, for participating in that wonderful thing. Now, I know there's one more thing that you've been holding on to that you are dying to let go of. It's like, what do I do with this money? I know, I can hear you. It's not easy. But tonight, you can let it go. I invite the ushers and greeters forward to help you immediately, because I don't want you to suffer any longer. So take that precious thing that you're ready to let go of and trust God as your source, to give generously to those who support you as we say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, ushers and greeters. I love to make fun about that because y'all are too serious about money. So I'd like to keep it light and laugh at us and just heal us. And text to give. If you did not bring money or check, you can do it with your phone. Just open up the chat and put the number 239-230-4704. Write the word give, hit the send button, and that will activate a process for you to give with your credit card, debit card to us directly to our bank. So thank you for your contributions. And enjoy singing along if you would like. I am light, I am light. I am
it all. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Let me hear you. I am light. 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 Now just you. One more time.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We give thanks for the gifts given. They are blessed. They are multiplied. And we are so grateful. So grateful. So a few more things before we go out together into the courtyard to have the burning ritual. By the way, if you need to scoot directly out, you can just offer it up into the fire and be on your way. But if you want to stick around for a circle of prayer, we will be doing that out there also. But a few announcements. First of all, welcome those who are joining us through the virtual world. Please wave everybody to those who are joining us there. We hope that you are doing your own little burning ritual safely wherever you are. And we have classes and workshops coming up in the high season. There are brochures in the back. Please take one, especially if you're new here. Please take one so you can learn more about what we're offering. We have a few specific things coming up. First of all, if you want to get more into anchoring the vision and really connecting with Spirit, not just for the next year, but for the decade and for your life, I will be facilitating a visioning workshop that will be on Sunday, January 12th. Right after service, noon to 1:30, there is a $20 love offering, but no one is turned away to attend that. So everyone attend that service. It's really a great way to go through an exact process created by my minister, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. He trained me on how to do this, and we will be doing that on the 12th. So you'll want to mark your calendar for that. We also have the prayer class that Eileen talked about. I don't know how she thought to talk about that. It is coming up in a couple weeks also, and I agree with her. Prayer has transformed my life. The reason I'm standing here is 1,000% because of prayer, because of all my prayer partners, because of, seriously, the 10,000 plus hours I have spent in prayer is what allows me to do what I do, and it will work in your life like miracles. So please, it's only 6 weeks. Don't make any excuses up. Sign up for that prayer class tonight. We would love to have you join us for that. And I think that that's it. We do offer prayer tonight. If anything heavy on your heart did come up, if there's something that you need a little extra support to release, we have some prayer chaplains who will be here for you. Of course, Reverend Eileen, Janine, and myself are also very, very happy to help you with the extra prayer. If there's anything that just like has got you, don't leave with it, please. We ask that of you. And I think that's it. Let's move into our closing song together, and then we will walk out to the fire.